man, just sit there and shut up. This ain't no democracy.
Yes, it is.
No, it ain't. This is the United States. Your ass belong to me. They don't give a damn about you. They don't like you. I don't like you. Nobody likes you.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. I tell you, the normies are waking up. Channels like this, you, me, this entire movement, we are waking up the normies. Libs were like, hey, we're against corporations and big banks, and we're against the eternal war machine of the American military. Just like, I don't know, a couple of minutes ago. And then suddenly everything switched. And they're pro-huge pharmaceutical companies and pro-huge big banks. And we're pro-U.S. military interventionism everywhere around the globe, you see. No, man. I mean, most people are going to say that's complete and total bullshit. Like, why is that happening now? And a lot of actors and a lot of people that really aren't on the dole anymore, especially some older Hollywood types, are saying, what the F is this about? This guy named James Van Der Beek. You ever heard of this guy? James Van Der Beek. Better known as Dawson from Dawson's Creek. This is the guy who, like, was in the Dawson Creek series. There he is, right there in the middle. He's the star of Dawson's Creek. I never actually watched Dawson's Creek. I've never actually seen an episode of Dawson's Creek. But, hey, man, this guy's apparently really famous. He was in Varsity Blues, too. That's a pretty famous movie. And he's been in, I guess, some animated series of Vampiria. Okay, cool. Been in some animated series. CSI, so on and so forth. Anyway, oh, wow, he's in the Power Rangers. Cool! So James Van Der Beek is out here changing his name to James Van Der Beest, saying that Joe Biden and the fraudulent system surrounding him must collapse. This is weird. Wasn't planning on this. Check it out.
It's early in the morning on Memorial Day. I'm walking my dogs, pulling a weight sled with my kid in it, and I cannot get over the fact that the Democratic National Committee is saying there will not be a debate to decide the nominee for president. Are you kidding me? There's no debate. There's no debate over an 80-year-old man who, if he lives, will be the oldest sitting president in the history of the country.
Fact.
And if he doesn't live, has a vice president whose approval rating is worse than his.
Facts.
This guy is obviously declining mental faculties. You're putting him up in front of a podium with flashcards telling him who to call on and what the questions are going to be.
Facts.
And you're telling us there's no debate? What about the will of the people? and let's just not even the will of the people. What about the will of the people who voted for the guy last time? Because of those people, 72% think there ought to be a debate. Of the people who voted for Biden last election, 72% want a debate. So the DNC is openly ignoring, bypassing the will of the people. Why?
Wow.
But this was a democracy of the people, by the people, for the people.
Answer.
If we don't have a debate, this is not a democracy by the people. It's a democracy by them.
You know the answer. Yeah.
For
Close. You get
who?
Close.
Big banks, big business, big tech, big pharma, big government, big whatever. I mean, what the hell? How is this a democracy? And how is anybody in the DNC right today going to post about thanking our troops and thanking the families who have made the ultimate sacrifice to preserve our democracy and our way of freedom? Now listen, I am grateful for them, but any member of the DNC who's going to think about posting that today, stop, think, and do your f***ing job before you start posting about how grateful you are there are people out there who are willing to die to preserve democracy, because you are not preserving democracy right now. You're shoehorning your pick and forcing it on the rest of us. And don't tell me that the other candidates aren't serious, because one of them is polling at 7%. The other one is at 19%. That is a quarter of the vote who already thinks there's at the very least some debate about who ought to be president. If there's no debate, there's no democracy. No primary, no legitimate president.
Boom. Feel that? Feel that.
Thank you to all the troops. Thank you to the families who have made the ultimate sacrifice to preserve our way of life, to preserve our democracy. let's all do our part. We need a debate. How do we?
We need a debate. He's not the only one saying that. So that's James Van Der Beek. James Van Der Beek. James Van Der Beest. Getting his brain rewired. Getting all those new chemicals in his brain because he's outside. He's working out. He's in the sun. He's clearly in the country. Countryside. I don't know where he lives, but it's got to be someplace really rural. I didn't hear the sound of a car or a jet engine or a truck. I heard the sounds of singing little birds, and I saw his dogs running around. It's amazing what happens to a man actually when they break out of the matrix and get out into the country. You become a very different person. Like when you get out of the cities, like your mind changes. There's a lot of peace. Ladies and gentlemen, he's not the only one. Joe Rogan has moved out of L.A. You know, James Van Der Beek had to live in L.A. to be a famous actor. He's clearly out of L.A. He ain't in L.A. right there. Joe Rogan denounces DNC for not having Biden in debate. Debate in primaries. Not that democratic. Popular podcast host Rogan mocked the Democrat National Committee, refusing to hold primary debates, calling the decision not very democratic. You know what's weird is that, like, Joe Biden polling with the Democratic Party and RFK's polling is kind of similar to, like, DeSantis Trump, and those two are going to debate. Republicans are going to have, like, probably 250,000 debates like they did in 2016. Rogan remarked the Biden administration was not doing such a great job running the country. He argued that his voters should be allowed to see how Biden would stack up against the Democrat challenger. It's very clear this country is being run by a bunch of people other than the president. I don't know how much say he has. A lot of other people are involved, and they're not doing such a great job. They haven't made course corrections that are very good. A lot of mistakes that have been made that didn't have to be made. So you're going to go, who could do it better? Could it be a Republican? Could it be a better Democrat? If it's not a better Democrat, who are going to get a better Democrat if you don't have a presidential debate? So they won't let them debate. Yeah. So if you have Rogan, Dawson's Creek, and Charlemagne the God on your side, then I think you're losing this argument. Charlemagne, take it away.
Biden running again?
Joe Biden, man, Biden. Listen, when you start your video off saying whatever, you put out your statement and it says, you're in condition to run.
Get out of here, bro. Democrats are goofies, bro. Look how goofy y'all are. Y'all really judge Trump and people who like Trump when you got this mother running again?
Freedom.
Oh, Jesus.
Personal freedom is fundamental to who we are as Americans.
There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred.
That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy.
America's in shambles. I don't give a fuck what he said.
Read of fruition.
To protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally and that everyone is given a fair shot.
I'm not listening to 3 minutes of this shit, yo. The world is in
But
shambles.
you know, around the country.
Aren't you embarrassed to be a Democrat?
America is in shambles. I'm not a Democrat.
So, yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
I'm not a Republican either.
Yeah, boy.
I'm nothing.
Yeah, I'm not saying you got to be a Republican.
I'm just out here.
What about you, Chris? You like Biden? You voting for Biden again?
I think we could use a fresh new person on the
That's
seat.
why it's whack that the DNC won't let nobody They won't do no primaries next year, man. Do a primary debate. Put Joe Biden up on that stage with Bobby Kennedy, who's challenging him, and Marianne Williamson, and whoever steps up to the plate, and let's have a fucking discussion, yo.